Hey, what's up there, YouTubers? It's me again, Brian, aka Gamer55551, and I am back with a video review. And for this one, although this one might be a little bit late, unfortunately, because a lot of things happen and everything. But anyway, I'm going to be giving you my take on Trinity Trigger for the Nintendo Switch. The game is also available on the PS4, PS5, and PC via Steam. And if you're interested in any gameplay footage, I'll have a link down in the description down below, or you can click on the card that will appear up on this video. And if there's any part of this video you want to skip to, again, timestamps will be down below in the description of this video. And for parents out there, it's worth pointing out that Trinity Trigger is rated E10 plus, ages 10 and up, by the ESRB rating system though. When it comes to Xseed games in general though, they are really known for doing, a lot of, small, like maybe AA or niche titles, to be exact, particularly, like anime titles or titles from Japan, in general though. And I do like some of their games, here and there, whether it's something like Akaba Trips Undead and Undressed to the Serene Kagura series though. They are known to produce some, or Rune Factory, in general, they are known to produce or publish several, interesting titles and all. So Trinity Trigger was also another one that was kind of interesting for me, considering some of the people that were involved in making the game, ranging I think from the Mana series to the Xenoblade Chronicles series, in general. And after spending some time with Trinity Trigger, I will say that it is a fun title for what it is. Obviously, it's not going to be a AAA type of experience. That's more than likely not what the game is trying to aim for and all. But nevertheless, it is still a fun title, particularly for those who are fans of, action RPGs, or basically, to some extent, Square Enix's Mana series, to a certain degree. So now I'm going to break this down into pros and cons, and we'll start off first with the pros. Oh, in case you're wondering, that's just my cat, Rocky, and everything. So as far as the pros goes and all, I will say, in terms of the gameplay though, I will say it is a fun action RPG gameplay in general. It does follow some of the rules for basically action RPGs though. It's an action game with RPG elements, to be exact though. Interesting thing, you do control basically 3 characters, and while the game does have co-op experience, you can still play it as a single player type of game, and you can switch between different characters and all. And some characters also have different type of weapons though. Some of the weapons you'll earn in terms of, completing a dungeon and everything like that. I think part of your, Trinity character and everything like that. And they can be used against certain enemies. Some enemies are weak against certain weapons or certain powers, others may not. You also have characters that have like special abilities, and all. And of course, you have side quests and the main quest and everything like that. So it certainly is a fun action RPG, in my view though, and I think it certainly is a good game, especially as I mentioned before, those who enjoy, like the Mana series as one good example, to be exact. And finally, last but not least, I do want to point out, as far as the Switch version goes, this is the version I have and I've been playing, it runs pretty well on the Nintendo Switch though, and I will give the developers credit for how they were able to handle the Switch version though. Visually speaking, I mean, obviously it's not going to look as clear as, say, what the PS4 or the PS5 or the PC version might be, but it still gets the job done on the Nintendo Switch. Plus, it also runs at 60 frames per second, though, which is certainly nice, especially for on a system like the Nintendo Switch. And it doesn't look bad, especially for a game that runs on the Unity engine in general, though. So as far as the Switch version goes, it certainly, in my opinion, I think it runs very well, or at least it runs really well on the Nintendo Switch and everything. Okay, we're going to take a quick break, and when we get back, we'll get to part 2, which is the cons. So we'll take a little bit of a break, and we will be right back. Okay, and we are back with part 2 of my video review of Trinity Trigger for the Nintendo Switch. As I mentioned before, the game's also available on the PS4, PS5, and PC via Steam. So now that I gave you the pros, why don't we get started with the cons? And there's really only 2 cons I could think of in terms of my time with playing Trinity Trigger at all. The first one has to do with the stamina meter, basically in the game. Now, every time you basically, swing your weapon or basically, I think like do like a dodge or something like that, though, your stamina meter does get depleted, though. I mean, it does eventually recharge back up, but it is how they designed the game, though, and that could be, so let's just say it could be a pain at time because I just feel to some degree, at least from my view though, is that I really think that the stamina meter kind of feels a bit unnecessary for a game like this though. I mean, there are other action RPGs that don't really use a stamina meter. The Yeast series is a good example of that. So I just kind of feel it seems somewhat unnecessary, especially if you're in a situation where you need to like dodge the enemy or basically, if you're trying to attack the enemy or something like that. So, I mean, does it ruin the game? Not really. I don't think it completely ruins the game though, but I do think it can be a pain at time, and part of me kind of feels it's a little bit unnecessary for a game like this. And last but not least, I do want to talk about the AI control AI control characters and all. Now, if you're not playing the game in a co-op or anything like that, though, your other characters will be controlled by, the AI and all. And for the most part, though, the AI is certainly fine in this game, though. Okay, don't know what that was, but all right. But anyway, for the most part, the AI control characters are basically fine for most of the time, though, in terms of, they'll attack the enemies, they'll basically, follow your character around, but there are times it can be a bit of a pain here and there. Sometimes, for example, like if there's like a bunch of traps or something like that, sometimes the AI character will be caught in the middle of it, or like if there's like spikes on the floor, again, caught like that, and that could be a little bit annoying here and there. Again, it doesn't completely ruin the game or anything like that. It's just an annoying thing to see basically in the game when it comes to the AI control characters and all. Overall, I would say Trinity Trigger is a fine game and everything like that. It's not anything special or anything like that, but it is an enjoyable game as long as you treat it as more like on the indie side of of titles and all, and you're into some of these smaller or niche titles in general. At its best, though, I mean, the action RPG gameplay is still fun and enjoyable, though, and as far as the Switch version goes, to me, I think it ran very well on the Nintendo Switch, and I will give props to developers for doing a good job, at least what they can with the Switch version and optimizing everything. But at its worst, though, the stamina meter, while it doesn't ruin the game entirely, I personally think it's somewhat unnecessary. And the AI controlled characters, while it's okay, there are times when it's just like, it can be difficult at times, especially if there's like booby traps or anything like that, whether you're walking through the level or through basically, basically in any of the dungeons. But in either case, it is a fun title nevertheless. It is something that action RPGs fans might enjoy and all, given especially some of the people that are involved in this project, though. I mean, again, it is a smaller title, so it's not a huge one, but if you're into those kind of smaller titles, or like some of the games Xseed has put out before, Xseed games in general, then I think it is worth giving Trinity Trigger a try. As far as which version to get, again, I mean, I guess the only real downside of the Switch version would be that the visuals probably do take some level of hit compared to what probably will be on the PS4, PS5, or the PC version, but this isn't really a graphically demanding game or anything like that, so ultimately it comes down to what your main system of choice truly is. But in either case, I mean, if you like some of these smaller titles or anything like that, then I would say at least give Trinity Trigger a try and all. Okay, this concludes my video review of Trinity Trigger for the Nintendo Switch. And again, these are my opinion. What are yours? What are your thoughts about Trinity Trigger in general, though? Have you tried the game out? And if so, which version has you tried out, though? Do you enjoy some of the titles that Xseed Games puts out, including some of these smaller titles and everything like that? Do you think this is a fun game to play, especially being an action RPG in general? Do you agree with what I said in this video? Do you disagree? Do you have a difference of opinion? As always, sound off in the comment section below. Let me know what you think. And if you do like this video, I hope you hit the like button. I would appreciate it. And I hope you do subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you do, make sure you hit the bell icon for notifications of any new videos I put up. Also, feel free to share this video if you want to, and feel free to donate to my channel if you like. You could do it through PayPal me or Patreon. Links will be in the description of this video, assuming you're watching this on YouTube. And I will see you again next time when I do another video. Hopefully that'll be soon. Until then, from Southern California, I wish you all a good day then. Bye!